Hey guys, check this out. Bitcoin rallying upwards, but I'm unfazed. Let's dive into the charts here. Looking at Bitcoin pumping up again towards that level. Like I said, I'd like to see a break and close above 22.5 before I have any bullish sentiment. So as of right now, I am still unfazed. Like I'm not tripping at all about what's going on. I definitely have this level still is like my go-to when we talk about price action. I want to see a break and close above that, and like I said, I'm pretty much bearish sentiment until further notice. I'm not gonna fall for the the FOMO or anything like that. This is my level. This is what I'm looking at. We can kind of make this so you guys can see the triangle, how it lines up, and really what I'm looking at to make it real clear for you guys. But this is kind of what this is what I'm looking at. I'm not fazed by the short term, or the short-minded mindsets of what's going on. I'm just not. So, further news. Let's dive in. Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort says he was wrong about Bitcoin. Names 2 cryptocurrency assets for long-term plays. Go figure. Now we've seen this already. We've seen Mark Cuban, say crypto was a scam, and all of a sudden he's an Ethereum bull. We've seen this before. This is why it's important for you guys just to make your own decisions. Can you imagine, like, you took Mark Cuban's advice when he said crypto was a scam, way back in like 2018, I think it was about 2018. You took his advice, oh yeah, I'd rather take bananas, or he said something like that. Can you imagine if you missed out on a play because of that? Like, why? Like, make your own decisions. Like, it's okay. Like, the worst that can happen, that's how I look at it. The worst that can happen is your life stays the same. The best case scenario is your life changed forever. So that's how I looked at it when even when I heard Jordan Belfort, I'm like, this isn't even your lane. Like, if anything, you should, at least have an open mind to certain things. It's just because, he's like one of the top salespeople in the world, and he's overcome a lot, and overcome prison like a lot of us have, right? And just because of that, he said something's a scam doesn't mean you need to take that verbatim. You need to make your own decisions, think for yourself. So let's see what projects he's looking at. So he says, I think the issue right now is that you have to look at Bitcoin and not take a 12 to 24 month horizon. With reasonable luck, I think you could take a 24-month horizon. You almost certainly make money. Maybe not, but I think if you take 3, 4, 5-year horizon, I would be shocked if you didn't make money, because the underlying fundamentals, I believe, are really strong. So Bitcoin is one of them, and he said Ethereum is changing hands at 1370. So Bitcoin and Ethereum is what he is talking about, and he said this on the Crypto Mile, and this, is pretty good to see. But I definitely think that this is why that we need to think for ourselves, because yes, he's overcome a lot, and yes, he's a top salesperson in the world, but that doesn't mean he is the person you should take financial advice from. Not anyone. At the end of the day, I think it's about a risk to reward. Like, what is the risk if you miss out on Bitcoin? Like, I have a friend who his wife told him, he talked to his wife about Bitcoins at $13, and she was like, nah, we're not gonna do it. $13. He missed out on Bitcoin at $13 because his wife said no. Now, look at the risk to reward ratio of that, and what is the worst that could happen if you spend $13 on Bitcoin? Like, if I was an opportunity, this project is trading at $13, what do you think? What's the risk to reward? It's like, okay, let's not go to McDonald's today, and let's buy this asset. So, I would say consider risk reward. This isn't financial advice, but consider risk reward when you're taking advice from people who are talking about projects. Even myself, like, think about the risk to reward ratio. What is the worst that could happen? So that's how I look at it when I try to look at, different assets. And I'm pretty conservative, to be honest with you. You guys know, like, I'm pretty conservative. I do have a couple, moonshots, I call them, where I'm just like, we'll see what happens. But for the most part, I'm pretty conservative. So for me, when I saw Bitcoin, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? And I caught Bitcoin at 3-year hand. I'm like, What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is, you know, by that time, I think it was around like 8 years, 8 years. And I was like, okay, it already shot up to 20. It pulled back. What are the odds it goes back to 20? So definitely take a look at that. I don't know. Next, some news here. Gold Telegraph says Goldman Sachs profits fall 47%. Bank of America profits fall 32%. JP Morgan has suspended buybacks. Banks are starting to feel it. Now, this is to be expected, but a lot of banks are pivoting into crypto as well during this bear market. Despite what you hear, despite the news, banks are getting into crypto. JP Morgan already made a trading desk, Goldman Sachs as well, and that's just what we know. That's just what we know. So by the time we figure it out, they've already hired, 200 people to lead their crypto division and all of that. So just remember, everything that is reported isn't necessarily like it happened right then. Like it probably happened 6 months to a year ago. So just remember that. That's something. Goldman Sachs profits fall 47%. That's to be expected. I mean, look at the world we're in. Look at the market conditions. And, that's kind of all I have to say about that. But going back to Bitcoin here and, the TA, like, this is what we're respecting the same level of resistance that we were last week and the week before. This resistance has been broken. 22.5 has been my number. If you want to be technical and really to the dollar, it'd be 22.541 exactly. So that level of resistance is being respected. I'm not too concerned as of yet. I need to see a break and close above this level. We need to break and get above here for me to change any type of sentiment. Like, we need to go up here and break and close for me to change anything. Then I'm like, okay, that maybe was the bottom. Okay, but for me, it's like, like I said before, I'm looking at what happened over here and I see the same thing right here. Like, I don't see anything that's telling me otherwise that, we couldn't make another leg to the bottom. There's nothing there. There's nothing that's saying that we can't make another leg. Like, everyone's saying that was the bottom. Get back in, and you FOMO in. But looking at the technicals and looking at the macroeconomic conditions, there's nothing changing there. So that's kind of my outlook. We'll dive in deep with Technical Tuesdays, maybe even take some trades. We'll see what happens tomorrow on Technical Tuesdays. But I hope you got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward, guys, in everything that you do. And we'll see you soon.